On today's episode of the Ag Irrigation Collective, we're doing a deep dive into something that's been crucial for American agriculture this year, irrigation. Stick around. Hi, I'm Wes Schaefer, your host with the Ag Irrigation Collective. Sure appreciate you stopping by today. Whether you're a farmer, a policy buff, or just someone curious about how food gets to your table, you're in the right place. 2024 has been a fascinating year for irrigation in the United States. We've seen innovations, challenges, and plenty of debate over how to best use one of our most valuable resources, water. Let's break it down. First, let's talk about why irrigation is such a big deal. Agriculture accounts for roughly 80% of water use in the United States, and in 2024, the pressure on water resources has only grown. Between unpredictable weather patterns and the ongoing depletion of groundwater in key agricultural states, farmers have faced some serious challenges this year. The western U.S., particularly Idaho, California, and the Colorado River Basin, remains a hotspot for water issues. Did you know that nearly 40% of the country's fruits, nuts, and vegetables come from California? Keeping these crops watered is no small task, especially with reservoirs like Lake Mead and Lake Powell still at historically low levels despite some recovery in recent years. So what happened in 2024 that made headlines in agricultural irrigation? Here are some highlights. Technological innovations. This year we saw the widespread adoption of precision irrigation technology. Systems using AI and IoT, which is Internet of Things, devices have allowed farmers to monitor soil moisture and water their crops with laser-like accuracy. Companies like AgSense and FieldNet rolled out affordable versions of these tools, making them accessible to smaller farms. Another big story, drones. Yes, drones aren't just for filming your cousin's wedding. In 2024, they became essential for aerial irrigation assessments, helping farmers detect issues like leaks or uneven water distribution. Legislation and policy. On the policy front, the Farm Bill renewed this year, including significant provisions for irrigation infrastructure. It allocated billions of dollars to improve irrigation systems, especially in drought-prone areas. States like Arizona and Nevada also implemented stricter groundwater pumping regulations to curb overuse. There were weather challenges. This summer brought record-breaking heat waves to the Midwest, stressing irrigation systems. Meanwhile, parts of California experienced unusual late spring rains, delaying planting schedules but temporarily easing drought fears. One of the most significant developments was ongoing renegotiation of the Colorado River Compact. In 2024, stakeholders reached a temporary agreement to cut water usage among the 7 basin states, ensuring that agriculture in the region can continue, at least for now. Of course, it wasn't all smooth sailing. Farmers faced a host of challenges, including rising costs. The cost of maintaining irrigation systems skyrocketed due to inflation and supply chain issues. Many farmers had to decide whether to invest in new technologies or stick with older, less efficient methods. Water rights battles and disputes escalated this year, particularly in states like Oregon and Washington. With growing urban populations competing for the same resources, farmers increasingly found themselves at odds with city planners. Unpredictable rainfall patterns left many farmers scrambling to adjust. Some areas experienced flooding, while others dealt with extended dry spells. This inconsistency makes it harder to plan and budget for irrigation. So where do we go from here? The future of agricultural irrigation in the United States will depend on a few key factors. Continued innovation and technology like desalination and water recycling could become game changers. Researchers are also exploring drought-resistant crop varieties that require less water. Policy evolution. Federal and state governments will need to balance competing water demands. Will we see more incentives for sustainable irrigation practices? I don't know. Will there be stricter penalties for overuse? There could be. There's going to be collaboration efforts necessary between farmers, scientists, policymakers, and consumers. They all have a role to play. If 2024 taught us anything, it's that we can't solve these problems in silos. We need collective effort to manage our water resources effectively. That's part of the purpose of this podcast as well, and why I called it the Ag Irrigation Collective, was so we as growers, farmers, policymakers, consumers, everyone can come together, learn more about ag irrigation, and learn why it is important in feeding the world. This has been a 2024 Year in Review Agricultural Irrigation Podcast. This topic is more than just about water. It's about food security, sustainability, and resilience of the farming community. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to click subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who might find it interesting. If you have any thoughts or questions, I'd love to hear them in the comments. Thanks for tuning in, and here's to a more hydrated and innovative 2025. Be profitable, my friends. We'll catch you on down the road.